Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome to the United Talk. Manchester United 2, PSG 1. And I've written on the thumbnail that let's not celebrate this PSG victory, and there are two reasons behind that. But I'm not being Mr. Negative Man because that performance against PSG is one of the or was one of the best defensive performances, or let me put it in a better way. That performance against PSG was one of the best performances by our defenders since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. And I say that because we did not park the bus against PSG. We did play with the back five, but that was tactical. We did not park the bus. I mean, I thought we would park the bus, right? But we didn't. And if you look at the performances of all those players, I mean, Axel Toonzi be playing after 1 year, almost 1 year, right? And that performance, one on one against Mbappe, one of the world's fastest players, twice, and he didn't concede a penalty. He didn't let him any room or space. The performances of our defenders, even our midfielders, Fred was fantastic. Van Bissaka on the right hand side was amazing. So, from our defenders, that was one of the best performances I've seen since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. Because we did not park the bus. That was all tactical, and we actually played PSG out of the park. Now, I know that Mbappe had a few shots, Neymar had a few chances, and Di Maria had a few chances. Kurzawa played well, but what you need to realize is that when you're playing in the Champions League, you're playing against teams who are equal or even better than you, right? Highest quality teams, and those teams are gonna have players like Mbappe, like Neymar, who are in the top five in the world. Like if you play Bayern Munich tomorrow, that team is full of star-studded players. Even if you play Barcelona and they are not in a good moment right now, they have Messi, and Messi is gonna make any defender look bad on his day. So you're gonna have players who are gonna do something good in the game. The thing is, collectively as a team, we were better than them. We were better than them, and I think no player has gotten a rating less than average for me, less than a six for me. So I think it's important to applaud the performance that we have put in, but there's a big but here. But let's not get carried away with it because number one, you look at the news that's coming out of the club as of yesterday, and what Ed Woodward has said, he's released his figures, right, for financial figures, and again, this board has taken out about 20 million out from the club in dividends. I think the exact number is 23 in the past 1 year. If I'm not wrong, you can check the website for official numbers, but 23 million as dividends in the past 1 year they've taken out. I mean, we were haggling to pay 20 million or 18 million for Alex Telles, right? And he had such a good game, such a good debut against PSG. We were haggling to do that, and we have taken out 23 million from the club in the past 1 year, which is again these things, like the reason it was released yesterday is because after a good or a great win against PSG, when the morale of the team is high, the morale of the fans is high, you release those figures so that you can deflect. And that's what the board has done again. Let's not forget the fact that this manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not been backed in the transfer market. You see this right now. Like, we were all scared about Axel Toonzi be playing there. Now he had a great performance. There's no doubt about it. But before the match began, when we saw that lineup, we were scared because we didn't know who's gonna play because Maguire was injured. Eric Bailly, I've had enough with Eric Bailly. I know he can be a very good player, but if you can't continuously be fit for your team, then what's the point of you being a good player? It's not even like he's the Lionel Messi, right? He's hardly fit for like a month, and then he goes unfit again for a few months. Again, he's out till the next international break, which is next month. So with Eric Bailly, you can never trust that guy. Now I have the same fear with Axel Toonzi as well, but let's not talk about that first because if you look at the defenders right now that we have at the moment, Phil Jones is not going to play. Marcus Rojo will not play unless we have a total terrible situation at the back. In terms of a central defender, we only have Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, and Axel Toonzi, who's fit as of now. I know Mengi is there, but he's not. I mean, I don't think he's going to get a chance anytime soon. So, in terms of who we have and defenders, we are really, really short back there. We have some deadwood, but we are really short. And that's what the club needed to address in the transfer market, but they did not. On the right wing, we don't have anyone. We really don't have anyone. We have that guy Palestri, who's 18 years old, but you cannot expect too much from him. And then this Traore guy, who's also 18, is going to come in January. Again, he's 18. You cannot expect anything from him. So this club has let the manager down again in the transfer window, like they did with Mourinho, like they did with Van Gaal. And now, when the manager is actually doing well in terms of starting to win some games against Newcastle, against PSG, they are taking this opportunity to come out with those figures and tell the fans that they took out 23 million from this club, which for me tells you that this club is run by complete jokers who know nothing about football, and these people just care about money. They don't care about the fact that I'm coming onto this on this channel and rant about them and get angry at them. They don't care about you, they don't care about me. All they care about is is taking money out of Manchester United. So, and that they've done that again. They have done that again. So look, we cannot be, it's not like we're not going to celebrate or enjoy the victories on the pitch because of the board. What I'm trying to say is that let's not forget that right now, when the two results have gone in our favor, if we lose the next match, while the questions will be asked of the players and the manager, let's not forget that the board is still there. And we should not forget that throughout the season, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets sacked, if you don't get top four, whatever happens, whatever the failure is, the blame has to also be on the board, and that's also is a big chunk of the entire blame. It has to be on the board because of their incompetence of delivering the players that Solskjaer needed in the summer. But anyway, the second point that I was talking about as to why we should not celebrate this victory against PSG is it's not that I'm not happy with the win. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. Of course I'm enjoying, of course I'm happy, but this is exactly what happened when we played against PSG last year and we defeated them 3-1 and moved on to the next stage of the Champions League. Now what happened? We were celebrating that night as if we won the World Cup, right? Or the Champions League, and the next round we got battered by Barcelona. And then we went on a losing streak till the end of the season where we lost to so many teams. So last season. So it's important to realize the fact that we have Chelsea, the game against Chelsea on Saturday, then we have RB Leipzig at home, who are, by the way, on the top of the German league as of now, if I'm not wrong, and they were the semi-finalists last year as well in the Champions League. And then we have Arsenal at home, then we have Istanbul away, and then we have Everton away. So we have a really tough run of fixtures coming up, and that win against PSG and that win against Newcastle will mean nothing if we lose against Chelsea at home on Saturday. So for the players, of course, for the manager, they need to focus. But even as fans, I think let's not get our hopes too high. Of course, we want United to win. Of course, we can get carried away because we are fans at the end of the day. But I think what we need to realize is that if this team has to go somewhere, it has to show right now. When the two results in the beginning of the after the end of the transfer, after the end of the international break, the first two results have gone in our favor. Nobody expected us to win against PSG. I was hoping for a draw, right? And if you were expecting United to win, then fair play to you. But it was difficult. We all thought it would be more difficult than it was. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you're going to see these patterns, these trends that he will have some highs and he'll have some lows. Now he's defeated Chelsea home and away last season, Man City home and away last season. He's defeated most of the top six in the Premier League. He's defeated the PSG twice now. So he's had some good results under his belt in his relatively short tenure at Manchester United. But you're gonna see these not so good results as well from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he's the man who's still learning on the job. He's the man who still hasn't been backed by the board in the transfer market. So it's like you should expect those results to come along every now and then. But I think what's now required is for us to get some consistency, because if we win against PSG and if we lose against Chelsea, then very quickly we'll forget the PSG win. It'll be like that, and we'll forget the PSG win. We need to win against Chelsea. We need to win against RB Leipzig. We need to win against Arsenal, and that's how. Because this year, if you look at this year, now Liverpool have lost Virgil van Dijk because of an injury. Now you don't pray or hope for an injury to anyone, because that's not good. But because they've lost him through an injury for at least a few months, if not more, I think it's going to be close to 4 or 5 months. But if they lost Van Dijk, and he could be out for the entire season as well, I'm not sure. But if they lost Van Dijk, that's their most important player, right? And then Alisson is not playing as of now. So Liverpool might not be able to win the league if Man City perform to their full potential. But what we know is Man City are not playing to their full potential themselves, right? They still have issues at the back. So, and people are starting to figure them out. You saw the game against Leicester. I mean, they are starting to figure them out. So I think what's important is to realize that if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have been backed in the transfer market, the league this year is I mean, it's open, it's wide open. I thought it will be close. I thought Liverpool will be runaway leaders, but that's not the case. it's wide open and there's an opportunity for us. I'm not saying we can challenge for the title. What I'm saying is we could have easily finished in fourth place or third place or second place this season, right? With the acquisitions that we thought we wanted United to get, but that's not happened. So I think there's still an opportunity for us. I think if we win against Chelsea, we are going to be 9 points out of 5 games, and I think we are going to be in the top six or even top five. I'm not sure, but round about that, I think we'll overtake Tottenham for sure. So, um, and we still have a game in hand versus other teams, some of the other teams. So I think there's an opportunity for us to now be consistent and perform consistently well, win the next few games, get the momentum high before the next international break. Let's ramp up some points in the Premier League. Let's make sure we mount a challenge. If not for the title, then at least for the third or the second place. Second is not possible, at least for the third place. Let's mount a challenge. Let's make sure we get there earlier than what we did last year. But it's going to be difficult, and that's where I think the injuries to Eric Bailly, the injury that could happen to Axel Tuanzebe again if he's injury prone, injuries to Anthony Martial could play in picture, because if you have the entire squad playing well, you don't need a Paul Pogba. I mean, if Paul Pogba is inconsistent, you can then drop Paul Pogba because Fred is playing consistently well. Because you can drop one of Harry Maguire or Victor Lindelof if Axel Tuanzebe is fit and he's playing consistently well. Now Victor Lindelof played well against PSG, but it gives you options. It gives you performances. It gives you performances like David De Gea in the goal. I mean, you compare David De Gea this season to last season, and there's a stark difference. That's what you want. You want a fit squad. You want a squad that's competing for places, and that's the positive problem that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be having at the club. And I think that's what's important. And what's important is consistency. Now against Chelsea, and let me just break it down for you guys. We can again. I mean, Chelsea is a very similar side to PSG. I feel, because like PSG, Chelsea have immense quality up front. They have players like Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic, Mason Mount, right? They have players like N'Golo Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho in midfield. They have very good players in attack and in midfield, but in defense they're still very shaky. They're still very weak. I mean, you saw the results. They shipped in 3 goals against West Brom. They shipped in 3 goals against at the weekend. I think it was Southampton. No, yeah, Southampton probably. So they are shipping in goals. They are shipping in goals very easily. So there's problem at the back, and if we can get at their defense while keeping our defense intact and just being very very tight and compact at the back, I think we can win that game. The thing is, and I don't want to get my hopes too high because I'm not sure how consistently the players can perform. But the thing is, now you look at that game against Chelsea and you think, should we again play with the back five, because back five worked so well for us against PSG. Now, if you do that, always Ole Solskjaer will be accused of playing the same tactics again and again. And because we've done that against Chelsea last season as well, we played the back five against them, I think, 3 out of the 4 times that we played them. So, we might just go with a back five, but will it work against Chelsea? I'm not sure. Personally, I would feel, because we don't have Martial, I don't want Cavani to start that game because he hasn't played a game in a long time. So personally for me, I think if you go with a back four, you have a problem, you have a dilemma. If Harry Maguire is fit, do you drop Axel Tuanzebe for Harry Maguire? Right? Do you play Alex Telles ahead of Luke Shaw? Right? Do you then start Paul Pogba when Fred has played so well? Do you start Matic when Fred has played so well in midfield? What about Donny van de Beek? I mean, Donny van de Beek has to be the most unluckiest player right now in the dressing room, because he deserves to start a game, but unfortunately he cannot, because in that system against PSG there was no space for Van de Beek to start, because if you start him again in the Scott McTominay role, I mean, you're wasting his talent playing as a number 6, as a CDM. So McTominay should be playing further forward, but that system doesn't suit him. Now it gives you depth on the bench in squad, that what we have been crying about all along, but you look at up front, and that's why we're thin right now, because with Mason Greenwood, you don't know what's happening with Mason Greenwood. Martial is suspended. Cavani is not, he's not match fit. Only Rashford is there up front along with Mata. And against Chelsea, I don't want to see us thin in attack. And that's the problem that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has now. It's up to him how he resolves the problem, whether he starts Mata, whether he picks Dan James because he wants to counter attack, whatever he does. What we do not want is to drop points against Chelsea, because we've had a very bad start to the season and we cannot afford to even draw the game. I would say we need to win this game. I mean, I would take a draw at the end of the day, but I think we need to win this game. It's very important, because we've lost points against Tottenham and against Crystal Palace, and people haven't forgotten that. So I think it's important to win, but let's see what happens. Do let me know what you think about the video, guys. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also press that bell button so that you can get notified as soon as I upload a video, so that you don't miss out on anything. And till the Chelsea game, guys, take care.